Well, it's official. NVIDIA has announced their Q1 earnings and they crushed their earnings. This is a big deal to you if you own, number one, NVIDIA, but if you own any AI stocks, I'm going to explain to you why, if NVIDIA had missed their earnings and had not reported the numbers that they did report, how it would have impacted any AI stocks that you own, period. We're going to talk about that in this video. So the fact that even if you don't own NVIDIA, the fact that they beat their Q1 earnings is a massive deal, because all of Wall Street really gauges the entire AI sector. And I'm talking about the entire stack, from chips, memory, all the way down the stack to data center operations, power, all that kind of stuff. NVIDIA is really the one of the major bellwether gauges that everybody looks at. So again, if NVIDIA had missed their Q1 number, then you would have seen a lot of fear and uncertainty come barreling into the entire AI stock space, and pretty much everything you own would be going down. But that did not happen. Also, what we found out today was that NVIDIA has a cash machine that is throwing off cash. We'll talk about that just here in a minute. But what I want to talk about right now is NVIDIA did top their Q1 estimates, offers upbeat outlook for Q2 on strong chip sales. Okay, so kind of to look scrolling down here, and right now we're after hours trading down about 3%, which is not a huge surprise. So for the first quarter, NVIDIA reported earnings per share of $1.87 on revenue of $81.6 billion, beating the $1.77 and $79.18 billion analysts had expected. Company also boosted its quarterly dividends to 25 cents per share. Also, they gave second quarter guidance, said it anticipates revenue between 89.1 and 92.8. Wall Street was looking for 87.3. So A, beating on Q1, B, also beating on Q2 guidance. Digging into the earnings just a little bit more, NVIDIA's data center business brought in bulk of its revenue, topping at 75.2 billion. Remember, of that number, 81.6. You can see, again, this goes to that AI data center build out that I talk a lot about here on my channel. That number is expected to go north of, depending upon how you want to calculate the number, but north of $7 trillion in AI data center spending by 2033. Okay, and right now we're at about 700 billion. So, essentially a 10x from here. Okay, so continuing on, what Wall Street analysts were projecting 73.47 billion. So again, they beat on that number as well. That's up for 39 billion reported in Q1 of last year. So basically, according to CFO, hyperscaler revenue accounted for 50% of data center sales in the quarter. The remaining 50% came from a variety of sources, including AI clouds, industrial, enterprise, and sovereign customers. So again, good news, right? If you own any AI stock, this is something to be celebrated. The fact that NVIDIA beat the analysts, also giving forward guidance, looking at Q2, raising those numbers there. Just again, bodes well, good word of the day, bodes well for the entire AI stock sector. Again, this impacts all of your AI stocks. Okay. I want to talk real quickly here about NVIDIA's cash machine is now funding both sides of the AI trade. They have approximately 73.6 billion invested in other companies as of the latest quarter, representing a massive deployment of cash generated from the AI boom. So they got 30 billion in public companies and 43 billion in private companies. I also did a real quick search here for you to give you kind of an idea of what those holdings look like. Here they are. Their top holding is in Intel. So they hold a massive stake in the semiconductor, which makes up over 50% of NVIDIA's disclosed equity portfolio, where they have money invested in other. CoreWeave, I just did a video on this today. They just added another 2.5 billion to what they had already invested in CoreWeave, bringing that number to about 5 billion invested in CoreWeave, which is one of the bigger neo cloud providers out there, and they are using NVIDIA's GPU on their lease server time business. Nokia, they've got $1 billion invested in Nokia for adaptive networks for agentic AI. Synopsys, a strategic stake in the electronic design automation software giant. Coherent, an investment in the manufacture of optical networking components. They've agreed to also invest $3.2 billion in Corning because of their optical connectivity cabling that obviously helps data center needs. So they've got a massive stake in that. Iris Energy, NVIDIA holds the right to invest up to $2.1 billion in the data center operator as part of a major cloud and infrastructure deal. And they've also got some investments in AI startups and software, Runway and Weka, SoundHound AI, and Recursion Pharmaceuticals. So there's kind of an idea of where a lot of their cash, or a certain percentage of their cash, is going into that is being spun off from the significant profit that is coming into the NVIDIA treasury, if you will. So let's talk about, again, crushing Q1 numbers. This is good news if you own any AI stocks. Again, I'm not a doom and gloom guy, but you need to understand that if NVIDIA had missed their numbers today and/or had made their Q1 number, but had lower guidance on maybe a Q2 scenario, said, hey, we're not expecting much growth, we would have seen pretty much red and blood in the streets, if you will, all related, kind of coming back to roost in the entire AI stock sector. So this is the good news. If you own any AI stocks, you want to continue to invest in any part of the stack of the AI stock, your portfolio, if you will, from everything from chip, memory, all the way to power production, all that kind of stuff. This is good news. Okay, because again, NVIDIA's forecast Q1 and then Q2 gives a lot of insight and data visibility into where the entire AI market is going to go. It's basically telling us that we're going to continue to see this hyper build out again, that's not slowing down, and that a lot of CapEx expenditures are going obviously into data center infrastructure build out, but it's also showing you that AI as an entire sector, there's billions and billions and billions continuing to be spent on it, and will be spent on it as we roll along for the next 2, 3, 4, 5, 6+ years, okay, and more going into 2033. Remember that $7 trillion number spent on just data center build out by 2033, and NVIDIA is a large part of that. So this is good news. Okay, so again, I like what I'm seeing here. As always, I thank you for giving me a few minutes, and thanks for spending some time with me. If you haven't done so, hit that like, hit that subscribe. I'll see you. Bye.